What's going on, everybody? It's your man Hendo here again on the RouG Pod with another video on Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. So yesterday, Lamar set Twitter ablaze when he sent out the tweet about he requested a trade on March the 2nd, and the Ravens have yet to acquiesce to his demands. Now, for me, it hurt. I was in my feelings. I ain't gonna lie. But I've had a day to digest things, let it calm down, and kind of go over a few things and a few thoughts. So, one thing is, listen, Ravens flock is fractured. We are totally fractured. You are either pro Lamar or you're against Lamar. Like, it is ridiculous the slander that I'm seeing. It is so bad that I don't even want to go to Twitter anymore. It's like some of us have just lost our grip on reality, the things that I'm hearing. But I'm here today to give you my opinion on some of the things that I believe is going on. And one of the things that I most am a little perplexed about is a sector of the Ravens fans have not been paying attention. These last 5 years, you have not been paying attention. And I am the first one to call somebody out when I hear somebody say you're a fake fan, you're not a real fan, you're casual. But I will say that there are some that may not be the most involved. We'll call them not 100% involved fans. That's what we'll call it, because you can never measure the volume of somebody's fandom, in my opinion. So when I say that a lot of people, well, I feel that some of these people haven't been paying attention these last 5 years, is because a lot of people keep saying, yeah, Lamar's greedy. It's about the money. It's all about the money. It's about the bag. It's about him getting paid. And if you've been paying attention, because I pay attention to people, I study people. I try to look at what's going on. You never can totally judge intent or purpose, but I try to look at people and their actions and formulate an opinion of projected things going forward. And for those of you that say Lamar is just all about the money, he bet on himself and he failed, he's just looking for this and that. If it were about the money, after Lamar's MVP season in 2019, he'd have pulled a column early and was like, listen, after next season, we need to negotiate on redoing my contract, if it were all about the money. After the season before last, not this past season, he still would have came back to the table and was like, hey, I'm not playing unless you give me a better deal, a la some of these other quarterbacks, Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers. But he didn't. He came and he played. No contract was agreed to before this season. He still played. But if it were all about the money, he would have sat out and he wouldn't have tried to play. Now, I know some of you are like, hey, but what about the 6 games that he missed at the end of the season? What about him? He had a tear in his knee. You act like he just strained it, sprained it, nicked it. It was a partial tear. Now, I know y'all feel like because these athletes make a lot of money, they should put their lives and health on the line just to appease you and what you feel like they should do. But if it were all about the money, to me, why wouldn't he come back and play? Why wouldn't he come back and try to show, hey, look, I'm willing to risk my future career to let you know I'm all about the team, if it were all about the money? Once again, if you paid attention, if you really truly paid attention, Lamar marches to the beat of his own drum. And people from his past have said the same thing. He does what he wants to do, how he wants to do it. And he's not going to be moved off of it because someone feels a certain way, or someone feels like you should do this. So if it were all about the money, why hasn't Lamar gotten any endorsement deals? Now, I know some of these, I'm not going to call them hood wearers, but some of these people out here have delineated and come to judgment on him on why he hasn't signed a shoe deal or why he doesn't have commercial endorsements. It's because he chose not to. He chose Oakley and said, you know what? This is good enough for me. I'm fine with it. Now I want to start my own businesses. But of course, because he wants to do his own thing, it has to be a joke. He has to be clown. All of these things have to be thrown about. But when it's somebody else trying to do it, it's perfectly fine. But because it's Lamar Jackson, he's not focused. You know, he's not committed to the team because he's out here starting the rap labels and doing stuff during the off season, might I add. Did he start any of this while the season was going on? Has he been a distraction to his team? Has he brought attention away from everyone else when it mattered? No, he's low key. He doesn't say anything until he needs to say stuff. Now, it can be debated on whether or not he should have sent that tweet out at the time and that he did. To me personally, it's a free world. Y'all sit here and want to scream First Amendment, Second Amendment, all of this good stuff. But then when other things happen, oh my God, how could he do that? How could he do that? Was it on the immature side? Possibly so. I think he could have had better timing for this tweet if he so felt it. But the question most people ask is, did he even need to send that tweet? Yes, he did need to send that tweet because that's what he felt at the time. When you feel like tweeting about something or your feelings about Lamar Jackson, what's the first thing you go do? You go tweet it. But it's okay for you to go out here and express your feelings on a matter. But when he does it, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. And he's not for this team. And he's just a selfish person and he needs to go. When all he's done since he's been here is put the team first, not been a distraction, handle things the right way. You know, Steve Bisciotti came out and said, hey, I love this team. I don't like drama. But ever since he's made that statement, what has this team been about? Drama. And because Lamar Jackson doesn't have an agent, where's most of this drama coming from? Where's most of this leaked information coming from that's starting all of this? Because in my opinion, if the Ravens had not leaked out certain information, there would have been no need for Lamar to tweet anything. There wouldn't even have been a start to this. But no one wants to fault the team for their side of things. It's Lamar and he needs to go and he needs to do things. He needs to get himself together, mature, and take a team-friendly deal. For what? Are they going to get him offensive talent? Are they going to put people around him that's going to help him to win a Super Bowl? Or are they going to keep adding to the defense and say this is Raven way? Why am I sacrificing? Why am I sacrificing to do the heavy lifting? So let me give you an analogy, for instance. So let's just say I go to a job. And at this job, the job has prospered, but in recent years, they had been on down times. Like the profitability, the profit margin wasn't as great as it used to be. You know, they weren't in high demand. They weren't being spoke of as a company like they used to be. You know, stocks starting to dip. Then I come to the company. Surprisingly, my mentor gets released. He gets fired. And now I have to take over. Am I ready for the job? Who's to say? But I'm thrust in a position. Now, years later, through my hard work, diligence, presence, putting in certain social media aspects, we're back to being profitable. We are more profitable, and this company is worth more than it had been in its entire existence. Okay? And I'm not saying that it's 100% me, but I had a lot to do with it. Let's just say that. I had a lot to do with where we are now, the marketing value that we have, the exposure that we have globally. I've added to this team. Now, I've made this owner a couple $1 billion. Let's just say that. Just for instance, I made him a couple $1 billion, and I go to him and say, hey, you know, contract's almost up. I would like to get $200 million, you know, because throughout these couple billion that you made, you know, I've only gotten paid maybe $1.5 million, for instance, just say $1.5 million. So I've greatly outperformed the pay to profit ratio for this company. And the owner says, let me think about it for a second. But just to let you know, there was a stipulation in your contract that you signed that you didn't see, that we have the right to keep you for an extra year under the price we deem fit. And I'm like, okay. I mean, you know, I can just quit and go into another profession. And they're just like, you know, all right, I'll make you a deal. You go out to our competitors, and whatever the best deal that our competitors offer you, we'll match it. Now, in business, that sounds crazy, right? That you would take your best employee, the employee that means the most to you in retrospect, and shop him to your competitors to set his market value. Now, my opinion, if you were going to pay me or match whatever your competitor was offering, why do I even have to go through these steps if you were going to match it anyway? Just to quasi prove whatever point you were trying to make. Like, how does that make sense? Now, if perhaps something slips up and your competitor signs me, then what? Then I'm looked upon as a traitor. You're going to badmouth me in your circles and in the media like I just up and left you when you could have just given me the money in the first place. So to you all, does that make sense? Go to my competitor and whatever the best deal they give you, I'll match it. Instead of me saying, listen, I value you enough to just give you that deal anyway. Unless I've gone to my competitors and say, listen, guys, we have to band together in this, no question. Because if I just go out here and give him this money, then all of our best employees are going to start demanding the same thing. And we don't want that. We don't want that. But the tricky part to this all is it's not coming out of my employer's pockets. It is revenue shared between himself and all the competition. And they are required to spend at least 70% of that money. So it's not even coming out of his pockets. This is the problem that I have with a lot of the fans is, oh, we paying too much. We ain't paying nothing. You and I aren't paying a darn thing. The owner isn't paying a darn thing. That money is coming from revenue generated through that organization, through the global boss that runs the entire situation. So it's not coming out of the owner's pockets. It's not coming out of your pockets. So why are we so enthralled with, oh, what is this man worth? What are you worth to your job? I'm guaranteeing you, most of the people, and I'm not saying everybody watching this or everybody out there, but I'm sure that the majority of the sector of people out there feel like they're not getting paid enough at their jobs and feel like they deserve a raise commensurate to what they do. Because also, when I tell you, I didn't just want the 200 million because I felt like I'm the best at what I do. I asked for the 200 million because not only did I make this gentleman billions of dollars, I did it without help. He didn't give me the training required because remember, they fired my mentor. They didn't give me the people that I needed in my department to help me run it efficiently. But I still took it, made do, and came out on the other side. So if you're not going to pay for the people to help me do my job and I have to do it all on my own and I'm still making you money and making you profitable, you darn right, I'm going to ask for what I'm worth and maybe even more. Just because without me, you might not be in this situation right now. Now, of course, like I said before, you were profitable before I got here. But there were lean years in the midst of this that you were not. And who's to say you won't go back to that? So are you willing to take that chance over pride? Because that's all that this is about. This is about pride for the owner. But you all really wish to believe that it's about money with Lamar and think that it has nothing to do with disrespect. Sometimes there are people out here, believe it or not, that go principle over pockets. There are people that don't believe money is the end all be all. And once again, if you've been watching Lamar and you've seen the picture, money doesn't move him. Or he would have done so many things to make money. So stop trying to slander this young man's name. Let's just celebrate him for what he did for us. And if he moves on, we will celebrate that too. And we will welcome in the new blood. But come on, Ravens flock, we need to do better than this. Like, this young man has done so much for this organization. Now, he feels like he's been disrespected. And it's not all about the money. And you say he's lost. What has he lost? Are contract negotiations over with? Is the contract situation done? Is today the last day that he can sign that franchise tag and nothing else can happen? So y'all quick to say that this man lost. He bet on himself and lost. What did he lose? He's at home chilling. He's doing his thing. Y'all are the ones stressing about what that man is doing. So you tell me in the comment section. Make sure you leave it. Let me know how Lamar lost if free agency isn't over with. The deadline for the franchise tag for them to sign a long-term deal for him isn't over with. So what has he lost? How has he lost? Let me know, because I'm confused. Like, I'm not saying I'm the smartest individual in the world. So you tell me, how has he lost this early? But yet still, when it comes to free agency, it's, hey, don't judge EDC on what he's done. Free agency isn't over yet. Like, y'all want to play both sides of the fence. On one side, this dude is always wrong, and on the other side, this dude is always right. Call a spade a spade. So once again, in the comment section, y'all let me know, what has Lamar lost? Until next time, y'all, it's your man.